Today I'm coming to you with a tag, so stay tuned. Okay, I am doing the underrated Disney tag, and I was tagged by Mariah's Whole New World. Hi, Mariah. And this tag was created originally by the Disney Sisters and Twinkle Bell Taryn. There are 10 questions, and I believe there's a bonus question. And so I'm going to get right into it. I love doing tags. So, first question. I actually had to do a little research on this because these were some hard questions. Favorite underrated movie? Now, my favorite movie of all times is The Parent Trap, and it's the original Parent Trap that was created like forever ago. And so, I feel like a lot of people don't actually know about the original Parent Trap. I think most younger people know about the Parent Trap movie that Lindsay Lohan was in. But there was actually one before Lindsay Lohan, and that is my favorite movie of all time. And I think that it's underrated because it is an older movie, and a lot of people may not have heard of it. Second question. The most underrated movie, not your favorite, but still underrated. And I would have to say, for me, it's not my favorite movie, but I actually have a copy of the movie, and I haven't watched it in a long time, but I'm going to say The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And the reason I'm going to say The Hunchback of Notre Dame is because it has a really good message, and I think that a lot of people just kind of overlook this particular movie. I don't know if it's because it is an older movie or because it's about, kind of touchy subject. I'm not really sure. But it is a sweet movie, and if you really go and listen to the message that they're trying to get across, I think that it's a good movie. You just don't hear a lot of people talk about it. The third one is most underrated Disney character. And I'm just going to tell you, to me, one of the most underrated characters that I don't hear a lot of people talking about is Mulan. But they're talking about Mulan now because there's about to be a non-animated version about to come out, and everybody's excited about it. But the original Mulan was a good movie as well. And to me, I didn't consider her a princess per se, but I considered her one of the first female characters in a Disney animated movie that was strong, a go-getter, and was a good role model for young ladies today. And so I feel because of that, maybe it didn't get as much of attention as it probably could have at the time that it came out. But I think now, like if it had been brought out today, I think it would have done better than it did when it actually originally came out, because at that time people were still into kind of the princess and having her be rescued. And for me, my daughters started watching, they were at the age where they saw Mulan and they loved Mulan, and my son even loved Mulan. So I just don't hear a lot of people really say a lot about Mulan, and I feel like that's why it's considered in the underrated category. Okay, next one is most underrated Disney animal. Now, I struggled with this one because I was like, animal? Like, who could I think of? And then I saw the Disney Sisters, I think it was Hope, who said Gus and Jack. And I agree, because first of all, they're cute as a button. But they're also funny. And I think they kind of get lost in the shuffle of the storyline. And even as Hope said, when they do the new version of, when the unanimated version, I know there's another name for it, but I'm always saying the unanimated version. When they did the new Cinderella, when they did Cinderella in the new version, like they got even more attention. And I just think they're funny and cute. I especially love Gus. I call him Gus Gus. I just think Gus Gus is just as cute as can be. And I have this cup that I got in a Bippity Boppity box. and it has Gus on it, and I love drinking out of that cup. You guys know, if you've been with me any amount of time, I love Cinderella. I love the original Cinderella. I love the non-animated version of Cinderella, and I just love Cinderella, period. And Gus is just cute as a button, and I just love, when I look at him, I laugh. So Gus and Jack. Okay, let's see. Next would be favorite underrated song. I would say for me, the number one underrated song is Colors of the Wind by Pocahontas. First of all, the message behind Colors of the Wind is very important, about diversity. And if you really think about it, Pocahontas was probably one of the first darker skinned princesses to come out. And I also think that's she's underrated. People don't really talk about Pocahontas. I remember going to Disney, to the Animal Kingdom, and seeing Pocahontas on stage. They don't do that anymore. They got rid of it, I guess, again, because a lot of people didn't really care about seeing Pocahontas. But I loved the movie. I loved watching it with my children. We watched it like over and over again. I loved the songs in the movie. And one of my favorites was The Color of the Wind, when she talks about, you really don't understand what you're doing. And you think that because we're different than you, that we're savages. But if you really got to know people, you would find that for the most part, no matter what we look like, that people have the same, feelings about things. We care about our family. We care about our land. I just love the message in The Colors of the Wind. So the next one is your favorite underrated soundtrack. And I'm going to have to go back again to Pocahontas. The Pocahontas soundtrack is beautiful. It's just a beautiful selection of songs, and nobody ever talks about them. And I just remember listening to the music in the movie and just really being not just drawn to it, but just impacted by it. It made me feel something, and not all soundtracks necessarily do that, like make me want to cry, but this particular one did. Okay, the next one is favorite underrated live action movie. And I'm going to say, and I know that a lot of people don't that's what it's called, live action movies. I know a lot of people don't like the live action movies, and I've only seen a few. I've seen Cinderella, I've seen oh my gosh, the girl with the umbrella. Oh my God, I'm going to have to insert it here because it's just not coming to my brain at the moment. But my favorite all-time live action movie is Cinderella. And because, one, I haven't seen a lot of them, but because it's Cinderella. And I say that because there was a live action Cinderella that I think a lot of people have forgotten about. And that was the one with Brandy and Whitney Houston. It was a great cast. It was very diverse. And it had great music and a good message, and it was just a good film. But I don't think a lot of people remember that there was another Cinderella. I remember my daughters getting excited about this version of Cinderella because Cinderella looked like them. Now, I could go into all of the craziness that's going on right now because of a new princess that's going to look like my girls. I'm going to leave that one alone, but let's just say for my daughters, Cinderella with Whitney Houston and with Brandy was like the best thing that ever happened to them as far as Disney princesses. They'd always been raised on Disney. They'd always loved Disney. But seeing someone that looked like them made such a difference. It made them love Disney even more because they could relate to it a little bit more. And so you just don't hear people talking about Cinderella with Brandy. And that was like the original live action. And it was really good. So that is my answer on that one. Most underrated villain. Again, I'm going to have to come back to Cinderella. Now, for the most part, in the movie, in the live animated in the live action movie, I felt sorry for Cinderella's stepmother, but I especially felt sorry for Cinderella's stepsisters because I felt like they were just a product of their environment. Their mom was hard, and because of that, she tried to make them be hard, and I think that's kind of like what turned them into who they were. And so I felt empathy for them that I hadn't felt before, and I saw them in a new light, and I feel like given the chance, if they could have been from underneath their mom's thumb, that they would have turned into different girls. When you hear villain, you don't think of Cinderella's stepmother usually, but I think that she in a lot of ways is an underrated villain because how she treated Cinderella, it wasn't even necessary. The father loved her and loved Cinderella, and she could have created a different bond. They could have helped each other, and I think that was something that was lost because she was just so caught up in what was important for her, and then it affected her children. And so I feel like, you know, when you start doing things that then affect your children and then kind of molds them into people that they don't have to be, yeah, that I'm not sure if that falls into the category of what most people would think of as underrated. I just felt like the storyline in the live action like really took you to a place where you understood things a little bit more, but it's like, but if you just done some stuff differently, your life could have been so much better. Like once Cinderella became a princess, if you had been a good stepmother, she would have taken care of you. Just saying. Most underrated Disney princess, official or non-official. You know, guys, I didn't even put an answer here. I pre-did a lot of my answers, and I had a hard time coming up with an answer for this. And I'm not sure that most people would consider her underrated, but I hear a lot of people say they don't like her. And I don't understand that. When I think of Rapunzel from Tangled, okay, one, she overcame her fear and she went out to the world to explore, even though her mom had told her it wasn't a good idea. I even heard someone say, well, she was young and she was disobeying her mom. Well, first of all, the lady wasn't really her mother. Maybe something in the back of her head told her that this lady is not really my mom. I don't know, but she had a little guts, and she ended up helping. I can't even think of the main character's name, but I liked her, and the fact that she was willing to sacrifice her life for someone else. For that reason, even though I know there are people who say Rapunzel is a favorite princess, I think the movie was a lot better than people give it credit for. Animation was beautiful. The songs were great. Like, I loved the songs. I loved the story. I loved that she was eventually reunited with her family. I'm just gonna be honest. I think sometimes Frozen is overrated. That should be a tag. It might already be one. Okay, the last one is most underrated couple. Okay, guys. This could probably also qualify. She could also qualify as the most underrated princess. I don't get why people don't like Tiana. It was a good movie. It was a different movie. And I'm not even just talking about the fact that it was a black princess. I'm saying it was a different type of movie. And the girl was hard working. Like, what is not to like about that? She had a goal, she had a dream, and she wasn't gonna let anything stop her dream or her goals. We could all learn a few things from that. The question was most underrated couple. Yes, I think she's also an underrated princess, but most underrated couple. Like, yes, I know he technically was a frog, but he wasn't always a frog. And, like, he was supportive. I remember Mariah's Whole New World saying this. She said what she liked about Naveen is that he supported her. Like, once he became a person again and they went to open up this restaurant, he helped her with her dream. Like, it wasn't just, okay, you're going to marry this prince and he's going to take care of everything. He was like, no, I'm going to be in the thick with you and I'm going to help you make your dreams come true. But I know it's your dream and that it has to be the way you want it to be done. Hello, that's what you want. You want somebody beside you who's going to, support your dream. And I mean, that's just rare in general, but it's definitely rare in a Disney cartoon or Disney animated movie, because most of the time the guys are just like, hey, I got this. And they just started recently to say that show that the princesses, they can do it themselves. I don't hear people talking about Tiana and Naveen. They just don't mention them, and I think they're wrong. I think that they're a cute couple. They are definitely a cute couple, and they're a couple that decided to work together and accomplish something. Like, that's a good thing. There was also a bonus question, and I didn't answer that because it was most underrated sequel. And I'll just have to be honest, guys, I haven't watched that many sequels. Most of the Disney movies that I was into was when my children were younger. Well, my children are in their mid-30s, and so by the time some of the sequels came out, they weren't really into animated movies anymore. So I missed a lot of them. Yeah, I really don't have a sequel that I watched. The only one that we even got a second movie to was Aladdin, and I don't even remember the sequel. That's how bad that is. I really enjoyed doing this video. Thank you, Mariah, for tagging me. I was so excited when I saw that I was one of the names that you called. Thank you to the Disney Sisters and to Twinkle Bell Taryn for creating the tag. Like I said, I'm not going to tag anyone specifically. If you're a friend of mine's here on YouTube and you haven't done this tag and you'd like to do this tag, you've just been tagged. So if you like this video, hit that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? And if you'd like to know when the next video will come out, all you have to do is hit the little notification bell below. So until I see you the next time, have a blessed day. Bye.